Hello everybody. So this video is entitled Down Only. The nonsense probably continues until the Fed speech later today. I want to talk about three stocks, Nebius, HIMS, and SoFi. These three stocks are exhibiting nonsensical price action right now. It is unbelievable that at the moment I take this screenshot, Nebius is trading at $152, down 10%, more than 10%. It's worth noting that Nebius, from the peak of June 18, Nebius is down just about 50%. It makes absolutely no sense. The stock is dropping with the overall market. Nothing has changed for Nebius, nothing at all. We still have an enormous revenue growth, enormous ARR coming. We have two deals, 19 billion with Microsoft, 27 billion with Meta. These are hyperscalers. I guess Meta is a new hyperscaler now. These companies will pay. These deals are binding. The money's coming. This revenue growth number next 12 months, 600% is negative. Is pessimistic in my opinion. I think it's going to be much higher than that. The company is trading at an EV over GP over RG of 0.13. It's way too cheap. It makes absolutely no sense why the stock is down 10% today, aside from its trading on macro. It's been trading on macro for the longest time. Perhaps some people are, experiencing some deleveraging, some wipeout, some margin calls. I don't know what's going on, but the market continues to be manic depressive. That's the only thing in my view that can explain this sell-off. I saw a few people talking on X about pre-programmed insider sales for tax purposes. I don't think that has anything to do with that. Some people are saying, they are releasing their earnings kind of late in the season on August 12th. First of all, it doesn't seem that late to me. And second of all, it's probably a good thing that they delay their earnings as much as they can. So we give it a shot to end this Middle East madness, because all of these stocks have been selling off because of macro, regardless of what's going on with them. Case in point, I'm going to move to the second stock. HIMS. So it's important to know, about an hour ago, the FTC disclosed that they were moving forward with their lawsuit against HIMS. So it took another leg down. It actually dropped another 5% after that piece of news. Now, granted, this is not new news. We knew that HIMS was trying to settle with them. They had offered $15 million or something like that to settle with them. I guess the FTC wants more than $15 million. So I guess they're going for a lawsuit. But here's the thing. I've said this before with anything that has to do with suits with HIMS. And we know we've had a few, right? We've had the Novo madness. That was another one back then. Right now, these things take so long. The outcome, in my view, of this will be in the next decade, right? So it's like, okay, so maybe we'll have a 30 million tap on the wrist and we'll have to pay in 2031. Right, that's the speed. That's the speed at which these things move. But the stock is down an additional 5%. But the stock before that news, before that negative news, the stock was down 7% for no reason at all, because that news was not out. So, anyways, somewhat of a negative news today. It's not that big of a deal in my view, and HIMS has been forceful in denying any of this, by the way. But back then, they had made statements denying any of this. So, there will be discovery and courts will do what they do. But HIMS has strongly denied this, by the way. But anyways, the outcome of this suit is going to be known in the next decade, likely 2030, 2031. But you know what's happening now? You know what's ramping now? GLP-1s are ramping now. Peptides, 6 out of the 7 that are first considered in the first wave, are likely coming maybe by year end, maybe by next year. And international growth is happening now. Guidance revision, outlook will be revised because they acquired eucalyptus. So the new outlook is coming. Many positive catalysts for HIMS coming right now, and perhaps a fine coming in 2030, and yet the stock is down 12%. It makes absolutely no sense to me. HIMS has been cheap all the way, now trading at enterprise value over gross profit over revenue growth of 0.096. We are getting to the lower end of the range of cheap, quote unquote, cheap, that I've seen this stock. And most of the drop, I'd argue today, is still due to the macro, not necessarily to do that, still due to the macro, most of the drop. And case in point, we continue with the nonsense. Stocks will dump regardless of earnings. Stocks dump. This has been the state of affairs for Google. Remember Google? Was it 2 weeks ago? We're on Google. Google down 7%. Great earnings, the best earnings in their history, down 7%. SoFi, same story. SoFi, absolutely outstanding earnings. This is one of the most predictable businesses. Revenue beat, earnings beat, guidance raised. If you look at the way this company is growing, it's growing the smoothest a company could ever grow. It has nothing to do with the stock price. Everything is going very, very smoothly. The members, the revenue, the profits, there's no dent whatsoever in that growth. If you look at that growth, it's as smooth as it gets. The underlying business is growing very smoothly. The stock price is trading on whims. And may I remind you that if you go back 5 years ago, you could have seen SoFi stock also trading near $15. This is one of the stocks that hasn't moved in roughly 5 years. I guess if you were unlucky to buy it at the top of 5 years ago, we're still back at the higher levels of 5 years ago for SoFi. It makes absolutely no sense. And again, the way SoFi has been mistreated by the market, I think, is one of the reasons why we have so many large companies who stay private for the longest time. Right? I'm thinking of Stripe, for example. Stripe staying private for the longest time. Do you think SpaceX regrets going public right now, given their stock price? I think Elon Musk probably regrets going public. The market has been nonsense. It's been very nonsensical to me. I don't understand why SoFi is not up on this news, except I do understand that stocks are trading or risk on stocks bad. We sell it off because we're scared of macro. This is literally how these stocks trade. Scared of macro, risk on stock, bad. Not looking at the underlying success of the businesses. And SoFi has been so smooth in its growth. So anyway, SoFi trading an EV over GP over RG of 0.31, but my spreadsheet hasn't really updated. I'm waiting for Yahoo Finance to update its numbers and do all of that sort of stuff. But the stock will appear cheaper as soon as I update that. Probably a 0.25 for a rule of 40 of 67. So again, this stock, in my view, has been cheap all the way. It continues to be cheap. It has predictable growth, and the market reaction is not understandable. We're down 7%. We recouped a little bit of these losses, but at one point, 1 hour after open, we were down 13%, which is par for the course today. You have 3 fully disparate stocks. The only thing that links HIMS, Nebius, and SoFi, the only thing that links them is the fact that they're risk-on stocks, and all of these at one point today were down between 11 and 13%. That's the nature of the market. Nonsense, down only. So hopefully we get some good news in an hour and a half and these stocks can recover, and many of the stocks I cover on the channel can recover. But this has been relentless macro, relentless negative macro. I have absolutely never seen this in my, 15, 16 years of investing. I have never seen this. This is just nonsensical, back-to-back dark gray swans. This is all we have. Anyways, this was not investment advice, not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.